You wake up already tired, not, I didn't sleep enough, tired, more like bone deep, soul level tired, the kind where coffee doesn't help, weekends don't help, motivation doesn't help, and you're sitting there thinking, I'm so fucking tired of being tired. That sentence right there is the hook, because it's not about sleep anymore, it's about the fact that rest stopped working. And if you want the full system level reset for this, I put it together in the guide, but stay with me, because once you hear what's actually happening, this stops feeling like a personal failure and starts feeling fixable. Here's the truth nobody tells insomniacs: chronic exhaustion is not a lack of energy, it's a protective state. Your nervous system isn't empty, it's overloaded. When people say, I'm exhausted, what they usually mean is, my system has been running without real recovery for too long, not just bad nights of sleep, but months or years of half rest, light sleep, constant tension, and waking up already behind. Your body doesn't collapse when it's tired, it collapses when it doesn't trust recovery anymore. So instead of giving you bursts of energy and presence, it keeps you in a low output mode, enough to function, not enough to feel alive. That's why you can technically get through the day but feel like everything costs way more than it should. Your system is rationing. This is where most advice goes completely off the rails. People tell you to push, to optimize, to fix your diet, your mindset, your productivity, your discipline, but pushing is exactly what trained your nervous system into this corner. When rest doesn't actually restore you, effort becomes dangerous, so the body slows you down on purpose, not to punish you, to prevent a deeper crash. And sleep is right at the center of this. Insomniacs aren't just sleep deprived, they're shutdown deprived. You might be unconscious at night, but your nervous system never fully powers down. Cortisol stays elevated, muscles stay slightly braced, breathing stays shallow, the brain keeps monitoring, so you wake up without having repaid yesterday's cost. And the debt rolls over, day after day, week after week. That's why you're tired of being tired, not because you're weak, but because you've been asking a depleted system to keep performing without fixing the leak. If this is landing a little too close to home, that's not an accident. This exact loop is what the guide is built around breaking, not with hacks, but by teaching your system how to actually recover again. Here's the shift that matters. The opposite of exhaustion is not motivation, it's safety. When your nervous system starts to feel that rest actually works again, it stops clamping down. Energy doesn't come back as hype or adrenaline, it comes back quietly. You notice you don't dread the day as much, you recover faster. You don't need to brace yourself just to exist. And no, the answer is not, do less forever. The answer is restoring the ability to complete stress cycles. Most insomniacs never actually finish the day at a nervous system level. They stop moving, but they don't shut down, so the system never gets the signal that it's allowed to replenish. That's why lying in bed exhausted feels different from real rest. One is collapse, the other is repair. Once you start fixing that, and again, this is something I walk through very clearly in the guide because most people try to brute force it and make things worse. Exhaustion stops being constant, it becomes situational, normal, recoverable. You get tired, you rest, you feel better, the way it's supposed to work. The biggest lie exhausted people believe is that this is just how they are now. It's not, it's how your nervous system adapted to prolonged overload without recovery. And adaptations can be unwound, not overnight, not with willpower, but with the right signals, repeated consistently. If you're done white-knuckling your way through life and calling it normal, that's your cue. This state is common, it's explainable, and it's reversible. If you want the exact framework I use to help insomniacs stop living in permanent low battery mode, it's all laid out in the guide. And once you understand what your system actually needs, being tired of being tired stops feeling like a dead end. It starts feeling like the turning point.